So the recipe calls for 1.5 pounds of ground beef, but usually it's easier to buy 2 1-pound things of meat, so you can just use 2 pounds instead of 1 pound. Next we want our 2/3 cup of cracker crumbs. We want 1/4 teaspoon of ginger, ground ginger. You can use fresh, but it's easier just to use powdered. Next you want 1/3 cup of onion. I prefer to use dried onion because it's easier, and the flavor is, you still get the flavor. But you want to use only a 1/6 of a cup of dehydrated onion. So that's about right there. You want 1 egg. There. And then 1/4 cup of milk. And you'll notice I'm using the same measuring cup for all of this. The exact measurement is not necessary. You can fudge it a little bit. Now just mix it all with your hands. In my haste to start making the meatballs, I forgot to add 1 teaspoon of salt. So we'll just add a little bit of salt, mix it in. Okay, now we're ready to make the meatballs. Over here we have a cookie sheet with aluminum foil on it. You don't need the aluminum foil, it just makes cleanup easier. And you want to make little meatballs probably about 1 inch big or smaller. Just line them up along here. Now that all of the meatballs are on here, there's enough to make 66 meatballs. Of course, your mileage may vary. We'll put them in this preheated oven that's been set at 350. Then cook for 15 to 20 minutes. So we'll let those cook. And while they cook, we'll start with the sauce. The sauce is really easy. You want to put a quarter cup of cornstarch. In the pan, along with 1 cup of brown sugar. Make sure it's firmly packed brown sugar. Then you mix it all together so it's pretty even. You don't need to worry too much about brown sugar clumps. They'll all melt. So there we are. Now with your pineapple, you can really use any size. Chunks are good. You can also use the tidbits. Those are pretty good too. So what you want to do is open the can and add all of the juice. Okay. Put it on medium heat. Then add 2/3 cup of vinegar. I always use apple cider vinegar. That's just personal preference. You can use exactly 2/3 or just approximate it. And then 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. Again, so we've got the heat going. We'll just stir this up some, get it even. And while we wait for this to boil and thicken, come over and we have a bell pepper. You can use green, the recipe calls for green, but again, just another personal preference. You can use whatever one you want. And just, you can cut them however you want. Usually we'll want diced so it's not too much of a bell pepper taste. And they can just be roughly diced. And we only need 1/3 of a cup. So you can use the rest for whatever you want. We'll probably just freeze it so we can use it later. So now we just have to wait till this boils and thickens. You want to stir occasionally, and we'll just wait for it to boil. This has been boiling for about a minute. You can see it's gotten darker and it's pretty thick now. Meatballs are still cooking, so we will put these aside for now. Stir just a little bit more, and we'll wait for the meatballs to finish. So the meatballs are ready. We'll pull them out of the oven. And you want to be careful, of course. The pan is hot and there's some grease on it. So I have a plate here with some napkins on it. Paper towels are usually better, but then you can just transfer some of these onto the plate. You can get rid of some of the extra grease this way. So the meatballs have been sitting a little bit. We'll add the bell peppers and the pumpkin to the sauce.
Pineapple?
What did I say?
Pumpkin?
We'll add the pineapple to the sauce. We'll stir this up a little bit. Then you can just add the meatballs any way that works best for you. Okay. Then you just want to stir this up some. So these are ready to eat right now. We have some rice that we made previously in a rice cooker. Just put some on the plate. And usually I find that 7 meatballs is just right. So you can scoop some out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And usually the amount of sauce that you get just from scooping out the 7, along with the pineapple, is enough, but you can add more if you want. Have it like this. You can serve it with broccoli or other such things. Okay, so the best part of this recipe is that you can make lots, and it freezes really well. So you can just get some Ziploc bags, add 7 meatballs, or you can add 14 meatballs if you're doing it for 2. Maybe add a few more pineapples. Okay. Then you can just zip it up, squeeze some of the air out. Then store them flat in the freezer like this. Then you can take them out of the freezer and microwave them for a couple of minutes. And since it's frozen, you can open up the Ziploc bag and it'll all come out into one piece into a bowl, which makes it heating it and getting it out of the bowl a lot easier. So those are Waikiki meatballs, and yeah, that's it.